This is the all-new Atlas Air from Turtle Beach. It's got an open back design with suspended floating ear cups, 40mm drivers pumping out 24-bit audio, a noise-canceling microphone, 50-hour battery life, and most importantly, it's lightweight and comfortable. So this guy's got dual wireless connectivity with 2.4 GHz low latency wireless and Bluetooth. That opens up compatibility for a wide range of systems including PC, PlayStation, Nintendo Switch, and mobile devices. Inside the box, the headset comes in a nice fabric carrying pouch. It helps keep it nice and clean and hopefully protect against scratches when you're throwing it in your bag and taking it with you somewhere. We got the microphone boom here along with a windscreen or pop filter. It's nice to see a removable mic, that's a big plus. It's pretty bendy and flexible, so you should be able to move it around and get it into position super easily. This is the transmitter for the 2.4 GHz wireless connection. It's just your standard USB Type-A dongle. This is just a quick start guide to get the headset up and running. We have two different cables in here. This one's a 3.5mm audio cable. It's braided, so it's really nice quality, and it's 1.8 meters long. And this one is a USB Type-A to USB Type-C cable for charging the headset. It's the same braided material and same length at 1.8 meters. When it comes to comfort, this headset just set the bar really high as far as I'm concerned. It is the new comfort king in the world of wireless gaming headsets. There's a few things coming together to make that happen. First is the weight. At just about 300 grams, it's really quite light for a wireless headset, and low weight is the first step towards building a headset that's gonna be comfortable for hours on end. Next, we have this unique mesh headband arch. When I first saw it, I thought something was wrong because it kind of looks like something came loose. It's a little bit weird, but it's actually a really soft and cushiony way to support the headset at the top of your head. And then there's the ear pads. My God, these ear pads are amazing. They're all cloth, not that fake leather pleather garbage, and that's true even for the inside area where they're gonna touch your ears. They're circular with a good amount of depth so your ear shouldn't touch the inside of the driver, and they're just so unbelievably plush. And yes, you can take these right off for easy cleaning and even swap them out for new ones if you can find something compatible from Turtle Beach or a third party. And finally, the clamping force is actually just right. It's not too tight, but it's also snug enough that it's not gonna go moving around on your head. There's nothing but good stuff here when it comes to comfort. And for that reason, I have to say, this is the new gold standard of comfort for wireless gaming headsets in 2024, period. For adjustability, the headset doesn't work like what you're used to seeing. There's no telescopic movement that slides the ear cups up and down or in and out of the headband. Instead, you have these Velcro straps. You gotta undo those and then make an adjustment, pull up or let some more slack into the line, and then put it back. My initial feelings on this are kind of mixed because it works well in terms of adjustment and getting it where it needs to go, but I question whether or not those Velcro straps are gonna be able to hold that tension over time and stay exactly where you put them, or if they're gonna loosen up and kind of move around on you. Now they did include some markings or notches on the sides to help you get everything lined up. That way you're not guessing or trying to eyeball everything when you're working on both sides trying to make an adjustment. The ear cups have a unique floating design, something I haven't seen on a headset before. Basically, you have an elastic suspension system rather than a fixed point of contact. It's a bit like a shock mount on a desktop microphone like this thing right here on the HyperX Quadcast, but obviously modified and designed to support the ear cups on the headset. It allows for a bit of rotation and some wiggle back and forth, which is similar to what we usually see, but usually it's happening mechanically on gaming headsets rather than like this. The main difference here is that we can't swivel around into a lay flat position because there's no actual hinges or rotating parts. Turtle Beach went with an open back design on this one, and what that means is they're not completely sealed off and they can let sound pass through. Plus they're breathable, which adds to that crazy high level of comfort. Open back headphones are awesome because you can still hear the environment around you. If someone calls out your name or your dog barks because he needs to go outside, you're gonna hear it. At the end of the day, everyone's gonna have their own preference. For me, I'd take an open back design over a closed one any day. I like being aware of my surroundings all the time. That way my wife doesn't scare the crap out of me if she sneaks into my room while I'm gaming. Build quality's good overall. It's not the absolute best, but that's a consequence of a lightweight design. You can't have a featherlight headset that's also built like a tank at the same time. It just doesn't work like that. Despite the heavy use of plastics, it's a very solid feeling headset without any loose parts or noticeable weak spots. It's got a good quality feel to it. I can stretch this thing out way farther than you'd ever want or need to, and it doesn't feel weak or like it's gonna break at all. The only exception is the volume wheel on the left ear cup. It's a little cheap and flimsy feeling, and it just completely rotates freely in both directions with no hard stops. It would have been nice to see a bit better quality wheel for sure, but it works. The resistance is low and it's got some tactile bumps so that you know when you're making some volume adjustments. All the controls are positioned on the bottom left ear cup. There's a button for power on and off, quick switch for toggling between 2.4 gigahertz and Bluetooth, a 3.5 millimeter audio jack, USB-C port for charging, and a multifunction button for Bluetooth pairing, answering calls, and media playback control. Now let's talk about this microphone. It's removable, so you can take it right off if you're not going to use it, which is a big plus to have. And it's also flip to mute, so you can flip it up to mute, really easy. It's impossible to not know when you're muted or live. That's why I always like that feature. If it's down and in front of your mouth, it's live. If it's up and out of the way, it's muted. It's that simple. On the Bluetooth side of things, which is what you're listening to right now, the microphone quality just isn't going to be great. And that's not because of the actual hardware. The physical microphone that's inside this capsule has nothing to do with that. It's all about bandwidth limitations on that Bluetooth connection. You just don't have the signal strength to be able to get better quality audio. It's just the way that it is. So if you're going to be using this microphone to do any kind of content creation, whether that's making YouTube videos, doing voiceovers, or just making audio recordings, you're definitely going to want to be using the 2.4 gigahertz connection, because it sounds like this, which is a night and day difference between the quality that we were getting with that Bluetooth connection. As far as I'm concerned, Bluetooth's not even worth using unless you absolutely need the best battery life possible. Otherwise, just stick with 2.4 gigahertz and get much better quality. If we jump into the Swarm 2 software for a second here, you can see some of the controls and features you get. So you can set your sensitivity right there. We've got mic monitoring that lets you hear yourself through the headset. And there's a noise gate to help reduce some unwanted noise from being picked up into your recordings. And then there's this little toggle switch for high bandwidth mode. And here's a quick typing test. You can hear how much keyboard chatter it's going to pick up when you're typing or playing a game. So the Atlas Air is using big 40mm drivers with a wide frequency range of 20 to 40,000 hertz. Plus, it's able to pump out 24-bit, 96 kilohertz, high-fidelity wireless audio, but with a bit of a catch. If you want to use the 24-bit mode, you have to be on PC. There's a toggle switch in the Swarm 2 software to enable high-bandwidth audio. You also get the usual Turtle Beach features like superhuman hearing to help bring out footsteps and weapon reload sounds. There's a customizable EQ and some preset settings for quick changes without having to know how an EQ works. I'm a fan of Turtle Beach's signature sound, so I just leave mine on that setting all the time. The soundstage is nice overall and provides a good immersive gaming experience. The tuning sounds like it's been shifted a bit towards the high end rather than a super bass heavy sound that so many gaming headsets have. That means it's good all around, not just for gaming, but also for listening to music and other stuff. But it does lack that heavy, thunderous, deep bass that makes explosions and gunfire sound epic. You can enable the bass boost profile in Swarm 2, and that brings some of the missing bass back in, but it's still not quite as punchy or as intense as some other headsets. How much bass you like is a preference thing though, so it could be a pro for some and a con for others. The 24-bit audio sounds great overall though, with lots of detail to hear the subtle sounds like footsteps, doors opening and closing, and weapon reloads. It's got more than enough detail to give you that sense of direction to be able to tell where the sounds are coming from. One gripe that I have with this is how the volume controls work. The whole thing is very quiet until you get to about 70% of the volume range, and then it picks up quickly and just shoots right up and gets loud. And then there's this little bit of a delay from when you turn the wheel to when the volume actually changes. Hopefully these are things that can be addressed through a future firmware update, because it's actually a bit annoying. Even with a couple small shortcomings, the Atlas Air is an amazing gaming headset. It's worth considering for the comfort alone, and it delivers some really detailed, clear sounding audio thanks to that 24-bit high bandwidth option on the PC. The bottom line is, if you're a PC gamer looking for a new wireless gaming headset in 2024, the Atlas Air should definitely be on your list to consider. Full specs, details, and purchasing links are going to be down in the description for you. Make sure you check that stuff out. Give the video a thumbs up and get subscribed on your way out, and we'll see you soon.